Hi, it's Denise Eckert from Balance Me Coaching, and I love coming on here and sharing practical tips and techniques to help you reduce the stress in your life. And today I've got Crista Grasso, host of Lean Out Your Business podcast, and she's the go-to strategic planning expert for leading global businesses and online entrepreneurs when they want to scale. Because scaling can be very overwhelming and very stressful. So, Crista, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here. So I have a business called the Lean Out Method, which is a process that I've developed over more than 20 years of working with some of the largest businesses in the world, as well as solopreneurs and small business owners. And the common pattern that I saw across everybody was that they were overworked, they were overwhelmed, and they made growing and scaling their business way harder than it needed to be because they were trying to do all of the things and did not have clarity on the things that actually really mattered. So I kind of grew up in lean manufacturing. And so I was exposed to a lot of lean principles and a lot of lean practices. And it struck me that so many small business owners and entrepreneurs were not leveraging those same techniques that a lot of the large businesses were leveraging. And if any of your listeners aren't familiar with lean, it's really about eliminating waste and increasing value. And I think that applies to everyone, every business, everything in life, because we always want to get rid of the things that aren't working and double down on and increase the things that are working. And to me, that just was the kind of birth of what I call the lean out method, which is helping people get that clarity around what actually matters so they can eliminate all of the things that don't and get their time back and stop having to feel like they have to hustle 24/7 to get it all done.
Yeah. Now, at what stage would a business come to you for help?
So it's really interesting. The lean out method itself applies most to businesses that I consider in the growth or scaling stage. But that being said, recently I've had a lot of businesses coming to me that are either brand new and it's a serial entrepreneur who started a second business, or it's a corporate escapee who's recognizing they don't want to go back. They kind of got a taste of being at home and said, I want to take my expertise and start my own business. And they're recognizing that they want to build their business lean from day one, and they want to build a scalable business from day one. So they don't have to go through the process of getting overworked, getting overwhelmed, burning out, and then having to lean out. So although I originally designed it and have worked primarily with people in the growth and scaling stage, I'm seeing a lot of need and starting to spend a lot of time with those more early stage entrepreneurs to really get them set up for success from the beginning.
And that's really important too, because I know for myself, even though I have different business modules here, a lot of it is my time. And I mean, just going from in coaching, going from one-on-one to a group program is amazing. And it's not something that is presented to you at the beginning either. And I find a lot of businesses, in a sense, they sell themselves by the hour. And you can only do so many hours a day. So what do you recommend for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, so many of us, when we start our coaching or consulting businesses, we start working one-on-one because it makes a lot of sense. And honestly, it's really hard to go from zero to group program because if you haven't passed through working with people one-on-one, you don't really know what challenges people have, what questions come up, those things that you do on repeat with your clients over and over again that are going to be beneficial in a group program. So I think it makes a lot of sense to start one-on-one. But over time, exactly what you said, you want to be able to leverage your time. And if you think about 1 hour of your time with one person, multiply that times however many one-on-one clients you have, and that's a whole lot of time. Whereas you could take that same 1 hour, show up in a group Q&A, and you could have 100 people on that call, or whatever number, feels right for your particular program. And so that's how you create a lot of leverage, and that's how you do simplify in a lot of ways. but some people want a one-on-one model, and you absolutely can scale a one-on-one model. You just have to be really strategic and really smart about it. You need to develop systems. There's a lot that you need to do, but I think one-on-one is a beautiful place to start. And the interesting thing is that one-on-one then flips. Is the later you are in your coaching and consulting career, your one-on-one goes to being your most premium offer. And you only work with a select number of one-on-one clients per year. They pay top dollar for it because 90% of people go through your group programs.
Yes, and that's so true. And I do that myself as well. And a lot of times when I do go through group programs and I really resonate with that person, I will take it to the one-on-one afterwards. And it's just getting to know that person as well. Now, are there any other tips that you can offer small businesses? A lot of the people here are small business owners on how to leverage their time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the number one thing is I'll walk you through the 4 stages of lean out method, and then we'll dive into the ones that really impact your calendar. So number one is context. And I think so often we just are very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and very eager, and we just dive right into working without first setting context to know that we're actually working on the right things or going in the right direction. And so I think the very first thing you need to do is set context, get really clear on what your end state looks like as far as you can see today. It evolves over time. The vision that you have today is going to be vision that different than the vision you have maybe even a year from now, definitely 10 years from now. But start with what you see today as that vision for your company, for yourself, for your clients. Look at your business model and how you can structure your business in such a way that supports your lifestyle goals as well as your business goals that you have. Like you mentioned, is it going to be a one-on-one model? Is it going to be a group model? Is it going to be a hybrid, and do both? And once you get that context in place, I think then you have clarity on what the right things are long term for your business. You need to then take that near term and look at the next 90 days. And that's where clarity comes in. That's the second pillar. And that's where you need to look at your 90-day plans. You need to actually build out what you're going to be focused on a daily and weekly basis. And from there is commitment, where you need to just commit to keep going when mindset things come up, when challenges come up, because they always do. You commit to keep going and pushing through and really stay focused on that vision and goals. And then the fourth pillar is Kaizen, which is a lean concept that means small continuous improvements and changes for the better. And I think as entrepreneurs, one of the things that we often don't do is really take time to reflect on what's working, to look at our metrics, and to use data. And I think that's really important, because one of the ways you lean out, you get your time back, is you double down on the things that are working and you eliminate the things that aren't. And you can't know what those things are if you aren't taking the time to reflect and really look at your data and metrics. So that at a super high level is the 4 pillars of the lean out method. And I think it all starts with vision. You've got to get that clarity long-term on what's important, and then you need that near-term 90-day plan. And with both of those, if you look at your priorities, you look at your goals, and then you compare it to your schedule, I bet you there's a whole lot of things that you are investing time and energy and even money in that are not in alignment or not important right now.
And that's very important. Like I know with my clients, one of the biggest things is clarity. Where are you spending your time and your energy? Because we've only got 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we need that downtime, and we want that family time, fun time. And yeah, that's great work that you're doing. So now, how do you work with clients?
I have group programs, of course, but I also do one-on-one. And so one of the things that I wanted to maintain with my one-on-one work is I love doing what I call one-day business intensives. There's something about just taking a dedicated day and rolling up your sleeves and diving deep into a specific business problem or business opportunity and really just fully defining it and giving somebody something that they could take and immediately implement. So even though I spend most of my time in my group programs, and I do have a 90-day planner as well for people who want to do things on their own, I kept my one-day intensives because those to me are one of the most fun personally as an entrepreneur, because I feel like we can make the biggest transformation in the shortest amount of time. But I find that my clients get a lot of value out of it too. So a mix of the one days group coaching, and then the more DIY physical planner for those who just want to get a taste of what the method is like.
Yes. And can you tell us a little bit more about this planner?
Yeah, so it's a 90-day planner, and it is the lean out method in planner form. So the first thing you do is you set your context. There's sections for you to define your vision, to really look at your lifestyle goals and what's important to you, to look at the habits that are going to set you up for success at the beginning and the end of your day. We look at your bucket list, we look at mindset. So it really does take into account what I call all those things you need for your ecosystem for success around you.
Mhm.
And then from there, you do your actual planning, where you establish your goals, you establish your sales and growth targets for the next 90 days, and then you break that down per month, per week, per day. So there's a lot of traditional planner components to it, but it's wrapped in my signature method, and really designed to help people get their time back while achieving their goals at an accelerated rate.
I love planners. I'm a real pen to paper person. And it just gives you that feeling that you're getting things accomplished when you can check things off. Or as your planner, like you would have things that, oh, this relates to that, and that aligns with this. And you just feel that you're moving ahead and moving forward, which is an amazing feeling.
And I think there's something about physically writing something down, right? Like we're on our computers all day long. It's nice to take that protected space, put pen to paper. And I don't know about you, but I remember things differently and I commit to things differently if I've physically written it down than if I've typed it.
Yeah.
And so I just think it is just, it's helpful in a lot of ways, like for your mind and for actual productivity and getting things done.
Well, I remember even being in school, like if I wrote something down once, I would have it in my head. Like if I
Mhm.
just sat there and listened or even typed it out, no.
Same. Yep, same. That's why I'm like, I do plenty digital, but I have to have my physical planner and it's part of my routine, right? It's part of my habits. And I feel lost if I am, in a rush in the morning and can't write in my planner. It's just my kind of daily routine that sets me up for success.
Well, and it keeps you focused, it's
Mhm.
very important. So is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience today?
Yeah, I mean, once you get that clarity, I think the next thing is you really do have to learn to unapologetically say no to the things that are not in alignment. And that can be really hard to do. And sometimes I think that's where having a coach, if you're in a place where you can invest in a coach or joining a group program, or even identifying a business bestie, somebody that you can kind of partner up with, I think you really do sometimes need that support because we do an amazing job of justifying why we need to keep those things that we know we don't really need in our business. And that's what leads to the overwork and the overwhelm and just that kind of crushing feeling throughout the day that you can't possibly get it all done, right? And that just has so many, negative implications for health, for business, for everything. And so you do really need to, get the clarity, but then you need to act on it. And you need to say no to those things that are not clear. And if you struggle with holding yourself accountable, find somebody who can help support you and hold you accountable.
That's the big thing, we don't have to do this all alone. It's always nice to have a partner or coach or someone that even bouncing ideas off of. And the accountability I found very powerful as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to share with us today before we wrap this up?
Only thing I'll say is I do have a technique that I walk all of my clients through to set up what I call their visionary leadership calendar. And it's really looking at their schedule in a strategic way, looking at focus blocks, really looking at the things that should be on their calendar versus the things that shouldn't. And I threw it together into a free guide for your listeners. So if anybody would like that, they can grab it at leanoutmethod.com/visionary. And it really walks people through my whole process. There's some examples in there, including my schedule. So if you want to peek into what my day looks like, you'll see it in the guide. So hope that really helps just with thinking about how to structure a day in that real visionary leadership way, which is that strategic look of focused on the things that matter most.
Oh, it sounds amazing. And yes, and Krista's information will be in the comments or in the post or wherever you're watching this or listening to this. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Krista. This was very enjoyable. and lots of great information.
Thanks so much for having me.
And thank you for listening. Just a final note, if you're struggling with burnout or chronic stress, I have free resources such as a podcast, Facebook support group, my blog. To get these free resources, please visit my website at www.balance-me.ca. Now, this is Denise Eckert signing off, and contact me if you're looking to create a happier, more balanced lifestyle today.